Oxford and Ozzy the oxygen atoms were chemically bonded in a tree in the seminary of Boston College on April 25, 2010 in a process called photosynthesis. At this birth of the molecular life together, they had a mass of 16 atomic mass units, 8 AMUs each, though Ozzy claimed Oxford to be the heavier of the two. Though their double bond seemed strong enough, the two kinsmen would not remain together much longer. While floating through the air, a UV ray from the sun shattered the bond between them. The two thought they would be fine apart, but in their radical state both found comfort in the arms of another element.
Oxford, always the more controlled and rational one, bumped into a wandering H2 soon after him and Ozzy split. Heidi, the H2, and Oxford, the O, bonded immediately, though Heidi's parents insisted her sister Hildur and her friend Osmond came along, making them two H2O. As a molecule, they traveled with other H2Os, preferring their company because of what they considered the group's uniqueness. They held themselves in high esteem, as they said they were the only compounds that light to remain a liquid at room temperature. They scoffed at other gases that couldn't pull that off, particularly making fun of N2s. Their high boiling point of 100 degrees also brought about their arrogance. Oxford and Heidi, arrogant and fearless together, could not foresee the problems ahead of them.
While running with the river H2Os, Heidi and Oxford found themselves chemically treated and then bottled up by carbon-based life forms. The nerve, thought Heidi and Oxford, considering those life forms depended on them. Heidi and Oxford, stronger than the other H2Os around them, remained together during their year-long stint in the water bottle. But after that, trouble loomed. When Heidi and Oxford traveled through the sewage system of Maine, they began a fight. Heidi had fallen for Carson the Carbon while traveling through the Person together, and Oxford had grown jealous. By the time they had reached the ocean, no longer potable and utterly distraught, Oxford broke free from Heidi, meeting up with a pair of elements named Charles and Oliver, becoming the carbon dioxide group. Heidi, on the other hand, moved in with Carson and a community of other HC bonds bent on saving the world. This particular group was assigned to becoming ephedrine, to help humans overcome their colds. Meanwhile, Carson's brother Carmichael fell for two atoms, Ophelia and Oriander. Due to incomplete combustion, Carmichael chose one, Ophelia, to which they became involved in gas heating. During a tragic gas line break, Carmichael and Ophelia were part of a raid that killed a house full of people. The CO group had become a pariah, and Carson cannot forgive the people who had forsaken his brother. With an overwhelming sensation of futility, despair, and broken idealism, Carson talked Heidi and the rest of the group into joining up with another set of molecules to form the substance methamphetamine in his attempt to destroy the people he once wanted to save. Heidi consented. The meth user worked out at the local nuclear power plant, blowing up his plant and altering Heidi in the process.
Glowing green.
No, this can't be happening.
Meanwhile, Ozzy set out to do good in the world, joining up with two other oxygens to guard the Earth from harmful UV rays. The gang, known to themselves as the Ozones, maintained their position at the stratosphere for some time, until a chlorofluorocarbon changed the group to make them just an oxygen molecule once more. Convinced they had done what they could, they made their way down the stratosphere into the troposphere, where a UV ray split them apart. Ozzy soon found himself in a rough affair with another radical named Nicky the nitrogen atom. Together, they worked to produce smog and pollution, but the relationship was too volatile to last much longer. After splitting, Ozzy found himself with his true love, Sarah the sulfur atom. Sarah came with another, though, her friend Ollie the oxygen atom. Ozzy knew that few would approve of their love affair, especially given the coal mine where they all met, but the threesome worked happily together until Sarah decided to up the stakes of their sordid menage a trois. Sarah decided they should all meet up with some hydrogens and oxygens to really cause some damage, so Sarah arranged that they become sulfuric acid, where they mixed in with some rain to become acid rain. What Sarah hadn't counted on, though, was limestone. The limestone forced Sarah and Ollie to another couple, while Ozzy found himself ashamed with strangers. Heartbroken and destroyed, he vowed his revenge on the world that separated him from his love. While roaming with the molecule H2CO3, Ozzy bumped into a CO that had just lost an oxygen. As the molecules drifted apart, Ozzy recognized Oxford. A gust of wind collided the molecules again, with Charles and Oxford stealing Ozzy into their group. forsaken by love, Ozzy, Oxford, and Charles set out to destroy the habitat they once so dearly loved, deciding to convert as many other of their carbon and oxygen atom friends into making the switch into CO2 through the burning of fossil fuels.